Welcome to Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. Very unusual one today. For my long-term viewers, many of whom will have seen my videos from America. In October last year, 2023 that was, when I went to the Savage factory, the Hornady factory and the Leupold factory. But we did a hunting trip, and in the Savage factory I assembled my own rifle. And I know it was my own rifle because it had my own name engraved on the receiver. Now, we were told after the hunt that we would actually be receiving these rifles, and I thought, oh, okay, you know, whatever. You know, don't believe everything. But actually, 6 months on from that day, and I don't have to send this one back, it's here. So even though I proof tested it in the factory there when I made it and shot it, well, it arrived back in the UK a couple of weeks ago, and I was informed by Viking Arms, who sent me on the trip, along with Hornady, who sent me on the trip as well, which was Edgar Brothers. I was informed by Viking Arms that it was going through proof and it would be here soon. So here it is, and this is it. So it was really weird. When the Parcel Force guy just delivered it, I said, I put that in that box 6 months ago. And here it is. So it's a Savage Impulse. And as much as the rifle in itself is interesting, what's most interesting about it, and I'll get rid of all these box bits, because for once, I know I'll have to keep this one, because if we look here, it says Media Tour 2023, and it says Chris Parkin on it. So that's stopping with me, isn't it? So we've got a bolt, we've got a magazine, we've got a book, and I don't need the box. So that can go over there. Right, it's very, very unusual for me to be able to treat stuff with such casual abandon, but it ain't going back, so here we are. Chop that out of there. What's in there? There's a padlock and stuff in there that you get with the rifle, don't need that. Right, this is it. So you'll have seen I did a full review of the rifle afterwards. That's a 3-round magazine, and it's got the straight pull action on it. It uses a very unusual system because it uses these ball bearings which expand. I don't know if I can remember how to do this actually, because it's a little while since I used it. We've got a breech flag here that'll keep the NRA people happy. That can come out as well there. So I just need to remember all this. So the bolt's in there like that. And there we go, bolt is locked forward. Now if I fire that, yes, I can just cycle it, or if I don't fire it, I press the button on the back and that cycles it. You can swap these bolts left and right handed. I think you can change the angle a little bit. Bolt release catches on the side there. I've got lots of Picatinny rail on top, which is going to make scope mounting interesting, or simple rather. Usual Savage trigger. Now a lot of people don't like these. I don't mind them actually, because I just think they're like a normal 2-stage trigger. First stage in, bang, off you go. It gives you a very crisp pulse, lightweight. The magazines they look like they front load, but you can actually squeeze load them through the top as well. This will be getting a full review, and you'll no doubt see it, because I've got to do a lot with the ammunition and also with the cartridge itself. Studs on the front end, we've got a free floating barrel, and it is of course a Proof Research carbon fibre reinforced barrel. I am not the biggest carbon barrel fan myself, I'm not the biggest carbon fibre barrel fan in the world myself, but what I will say about this, and I think I quoted this in the written article I did, on the video article, I shot this rifle out to about 1,000 yards, 1,000 metres, can't remember what it was. And I got it really, really hot because there was ammunition aplenty, wasn't my rifle, blah, blah, blah. Go for it. Drive it like you stole it. Somebody will remember they told me they said that. You remember who that is? Mr. YT. So anyway, it got very, very hot. And then we drove about 45 minutes back to the hunting lodge and it was still hot. So there we go. Comes with a muzzle brake on it. It's pepper pot brake. I'll have to take that off because I will be running it with a moderator. I'm not a brake fan, and it's quite a big beast as a 7 PRC. So we shall see how we get on with this, and because we can use the interchangeable Savage stock parts, make sure the rifle's all good. But you know, I used this out there, went on the hunt with it, had a great time with it. But let's have a look at the ammo now, because I'm walking off camera there. The ammo arrived a few weeks ago from Edgar Brothers. It's Hornady ammunition. And we're back in the room. So we have got, there's a few more boxes than these. We've got Precision Hunter, which is the 175 grain ELDX. This is what I was using shooting the pronghorn antelope. Did a very good job. And then we've also got the 180 grain ELD Match, which is a little bit pointier, a little bit more ballistic oriented. And these are the 7 PRC cartridges. Let me just take one out of there as well so you can see it. Different bullet, but it won't look that much different to the naked eye. Slightly different shape. Better not mix those up actually. One's got a silver primer, one's got a gold primer, or brass colour primer, whichever you want to put it. But that is it. So that is the 7mm PRC. It's not an enormous bopper like a 338 Lapper or something, but that is ballpark equivalent. Oh, it's a bit bigger than a 7mm Ren Mag. I think on paper it's got slightly more muzzle energy, bullet for bullet, than a 300 Winchester Magnum. I have owned and used the 300 Winchester Magnum for many years. I can't even remember now, but that has been a great rifle. These are going to do something very, very similar. Obviously it's 7mm, not 7.62. They do also do a 300 PRC rifle. When I used one of those before. I'd used a 7mm PRC actually. The 300 PRC is an even bigger bopper, but it's still not insane like a 338 Lap Mag or like a big African Plains game rifle or anything like that. So I'll be giving these a go. I think general usage in the UK, we don't have massive species, but if you're shooting some big stags or some hinds at long distance on the hill, it's going to be ideal for that because it is a ballistically very capable cartridge. I mean, 7mm Ren Mag was very popular for a long time and still is, to be fair. The only thing that that I picked a 300 Win Mag instead of a 7mm Ren Mag was just the fact that if I ever did travel with it, it was a little bit easier to get ammunition for the 300 Win Mag. But again, times have moved on from those days. So we shall give this a go. Let's have a little read and see what it says on the box. Make sure I put these back in the correct ones. Silver primer in there. You're probably looking ballpark somewhere approaching 4,000 foot-pounds in one of these. Let's just see what it says on the hunting one. Right, muzzle velocity 3,000 feet per second. That's the 175 grain bullet. So that's giving me an approximate ballistic, sort of hunting ballistics of 200 yards zero. That's 1.4 inches high at 100, and it's 6 inches low at 300. So that is a general ballpark statistic for you, but I'll do the full review on this rifle because when I did the previous review I got to cover the rifle a lot in the hunting scenario, which everybody thinks is great, and it is great, but you don't get kind of the range test, the range detail, the chronographing, the real world data. I will also long term from Edgar Brothers thankfully be receiving Winchester stable powder, Hornady bullets. I've got cases, but I can have more cases if I need, and of course Hornady reloading dies, so I can do the full play about with it. Because to be fair, 10-15 years ago, whatever it was, when I got a 300 Win Mag, I did everything with that because that was my rifle for my hunting at that time. It must be 15 years ago actually, because it was before even I had an RFD. And I got some seriously good results out of the 300 Win Mag, which does have some reloading caveats. I don't think they're necessarily downfalls, they're just things you need to be aware of to do with the belted case specifically. But as times have moved on, people like shorter, fatter cases. They don't want bullets, that can't be pushed way out of the cases, and bullet designs have changed a little bit. And I can see there's some logic to it. I can also see there's a lot of marketing to it. If you learn to read those two factors and bit of lines between them, then you will get some quite accurate results from your life. Now, just because it happens to be out at the moment, because I was doing something else earlier on in the armoury, this is 6.5 Creedmoor, which is, was the new thing 10 years ago. Now it's fairly common regarding, you see those all the time, 6.5 PRC. They're very common, very well-liked cartridge. I've had a few of them, you could say. And that is the 7mm PRC alongside it. So you've got 6.5 Creedmoor, 7mm PRC. Slightly larger bullet, slightly longer bullet, much heavier bullet, lot more powder, much bigger case. That is the case head diameter difference. That's a 532 case head, 0.532 of an inch, that's 0.470 of an inch case head. So it just gives you a little bit of an idea of them side by side. And there's a box of There's a box of 20 rounds of each to also give you a little bit of an idea of the relative sizes of them. Looking forward to putting the sound moderator on it. This is going to be a fun test, going to be a cool thing, because it doesn't matter if I take it hunting, if I scratch it, if I get it mucky, covered in mud, make a mess of it, whatever, I can use it, because this is apparently my rifle. Right, I hope you've enjoyed that little preview on this. We will no doubt be seeing all about this in the long term. I'll put the links on this video to when I built it in the factory, or assembled it in the factory, when I took it on the hunting trip itself, and also the bit of the review I did while I was actually out there in Colorado on the hunt with it. It was a coast-to-coast trip across the US, and I'll link the Hornady video as well as the Savage Factory video. I'll put the Leupold video in as well, because I did use Leupold optics while I was there, although I haven't got those now. And there we go. So please like, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, and I might actually do a new notification bell video using this, because I think I did the one I've got on my current videos. I did that with a 300 Win Mag just so it gave me a good clang. I might even do it again with one of these, see if it gives me a noticeably bigger clang, which it will, probably won't. And there we go. So keep track of the regular uploads, and thank you for watching. Bye for now. But most importantly, thank you to OMI, Outdoor Marketing International, and Jens Teeps for that, Hornady, Edgar Brothers, Savage, and Viking Arms. But one thing I will tell Viking Arms off for is they've sent me a box today and there's no Haribo in it, so I'm very, very disappointed. I suppose this will cheer me up equivalent though. All is forgiven. Thank you, Viking. They were hiding with the invoice. Thanks for watching. Bye for now even.